movements today, and they take us to the end of the first section of the 103 movement long form. Hi, I'm David-Dorian Ross. Welcome to the Cherry Blossom Studios. Today is day number 14 of 100 days of Tai Chi. And as I said, today we finish the first section of the long form. I've also got a great viewer question of the day, and all that's going to wrap up if I can get it out of my mouth right after this. So I'll see you in a second. Well, first things first, if you're first time watching this series, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Do me a favor. Would you please just press that subscribe button while you're at it, and maybe the little bell right next to it so that you get notified when a new video comes up. For those of you who don't know, I'm posting these every single day for 100 days until we finish out the entire Yang-style traditional 103 movement long form. Today's day number 14. Come quite a ways already. Today we're finishing up the first section. Now, what's cool about the first section of this long form is that it could and sometimes does stand alone as its own little mini routine. You start with the first movement, opening the door, and you progress down the ways until we get to today's movement. And today's movement is actually called almost closing. Like you could finish here. So we're going to get to that movement in just a second. Let's take a look at the movements that we're learning today, starting from the end of deflect downward parry and punch. All right, now I'm going to do it from this angle, then I'm going to turn to face you and do it in mirror view. Apparently closing and then cross hands. Those are the two movements we're learning today. All right, let's break this first one down. Now the footwork for the first movement is so super easy because you're not actually stepping anywhere. You're just shifting weight back and forth. So let me turn to face you, and I'm doing this in mirror image so that this would be your left foot stepping out right there. You're simply going to shift back to the back foot. As you do that shift back to the back foot, you're going to turn the waist towards the right. So you're just going to kind of open into the free side of your hips here. Second half, I'm going to square up those hips again and come back to my lunge again. Right? So here as the other view using the actual foot position. So I have left foot forward here. So I'm going to sit back and open to the right, square up, and shift forward again. Here's what the hands are doing. So the hands start off in a punch. And again, I'm going to do this in mirror image. So this would be your right hand. This is my left hand. Left hand is in a position by the right forearm, very near the crook of the elbow. So it's going to scoop underneath, slide down the arm. The two hands slide apart. The hands pull in as the elbows drop. Palms turn out and push. So it's a clearing and a pushing. Does that make sense? Now let's take a look at a little bit more detail of this. So here I am at the punch. First thing that's happened is that the left hand slides under the forearm here, gets underneath that, and then the fist opens. The hand slides down and the two hands turn palm up as they separate. Right? Sliding apart, turning palm up. At this point in time, you're going to be sitting back. And as I sit back, simultaneously, the elbows drop. That's what pulls the hands in. As the elbows drop and I shift my weight back, I also turn my waist towards the right, which will draw this right hand closer to the body. Now look, you can see that the two hands are a little bit separated. Right hand seems tighter. Left hand seems a little bit farther away. But then something really wonderful happens. I'm going to do this again in mirror image to you so that you can see this punch. So as it comes back here, the right hand seems a little tighter, left hand seems a little farther away. But then I'm going to square up my hips, and as I do so, the two hands also square up and become even on both sides so that they're ready for a straightforward push as I shift my weight back to the lunge. I can see in the viewfinder here in the monitor that this is a little bit hard to see in that straight ahead angle. So let me turn to the side again so you can just see what this looks like. Here I am at the end of the punch. I'm going to slide this hand underneath, the two hands turn palm up, withdraw, square up, push forward. Beautiful. All right, so that's our first movement, Ru Feng Si Bi, which means almost closing, apparently finishing. Good. Now the next movement, which finishes up, wraps up the first section, is known as cross hands. Watch me one time again, and then we'll break it down. So I've just finished the push right here. Crossing hands, because that's what they do, they cross. Now again, the footwork is super simple because you're not stepping too far, you're just sort of shifting the weight from a lunge into a forward stance and then taking a short step into the center. All right, so here's the detail of that. This is what the footwork looks like. From the end of this movement, I'm going to sit back and then turn my whole body towards the right. Turn, 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 turn. As I do that, check out these left toes turning all the way in. Now my feet are still apart right here, so I'm going to sit back over, step in a half a step, so I still have distance between my feet. And that's the entire footwork there. All right, one more time. I'm going to do it from the back here just so that you can follow me. I'm finishing in a lunge. I sit my weight back to the right foot and turn in. Back over here and step in a half a step. That's the footwork. Here's what the hands do. At the end of this push, they're going to sort of float as I shift my weight back. And then as I turn my body towards the right hand separates away from the left. It sort of wipes across the sky here until the two hands are pointing to the corner, like 10 and 2 o'clock, right there. Then as I step back in, right, the two hands scoop down and cross. And the whole body rises. And you're ready for the next movement. We sort of finish right here. You do feel like, it's like, what? I'm anticipating there should be another movement coming on. And that's why you slide into section 2. Or you could finish right there. And this is what it would look like. Ru Feng Si Bi. Push. Sit back and open. Cross hands. And if I wanted to, I could just separate, let the hands float down, and close. So you have a couple of options there. That's what I love about this first section in the long form, because it gets us right to this place where we could just say, okay, that's it. That's a good routine. And speaking of good routines, come back tomorrow for tomorrow morning's lesson, because in addition to the new movement, we also have the entire recap of that first section. So make sure you watch that. All right, that's all it. I'm going to come back in a second here and talk about the viewer question of the day. Today's question of the day comes again from Deepo, who I just love so much because he was the guy who gave me the inspiration to do this whole series in the first place. And he keeps asking these marvelous, marvelous questions. And the question he asked her today is, in addition to the personal health benefits that I get from Tai Chi and Qigong practice, what else do I get from practicing Tai Chi? A marvelous question. Like, is that it? Do I just get good health practices, maybe a little bit better at martial arts and self-defense? Well, in fact, the practice of Tai Chi is what we call a form of Qigong. Qigong meaning energy work, energy exercises. And energy exercises can do all kinds of marvelous things. In fact, they split them up traditionally into 3 different categories. Medical Qigong for healing and preventative and all kinds of, and keeping you longevity, right? Keeping you alive a lot longer. We also split it into a category called martial Qigong. Strengthens the body, protecting it against kicks and punches, and also allowing you to issue your Qi, to sort of send it out so that it can be a fighting weapon as well. And finally, the third category is what's known as spiritual Qigong, where we use the energy of life, the Qi energy, to somehow raise our spiritual essence. And in fact, you might think of this as a process of refining the Qi energy every time you do your Tai Chi. We are moving, and moving, not just moving, but moving in a very specific kind of pattern, circles and spirals, all of which help to promote the movement of the Qi inside the body. And every time that you do that, every circulation of the Qi throughout your body makes it a little bit more high vibration, you might say. And so the Qi is going through this process of turning into something else, which we actually call Shen. And Shen could be directly translated as spirit. And so spiritual Qigong, which includes Tai Chi practice, is about raising from Qi to Shen. Now, Shen is simply energy that is at a high enough vibration that it matches the vibration of the rest of the universe, the vibration of heaven. And so just imagine your personal energy vibrating at the same vibration, same frequency as the stars, as the heavens. What communication might you have then? Anyway, that's the theory. So, Deepo, great question. It's certainly good for health, it's certainly good for martial, and it does raise your sense of consciousness, your sense of compassion, benevolence, and authenticity, which is the root of Tai Chi practice. All right, thank you for that question. And if you have a question, comment, request, confusion you want cleared up, whatever, please write it into the comments. I love them so much. They're so cool. So continue to do that. And if you're new to this program and you say, oh, gee, should I go ahead and ask a question? I haven't seen the other episodes. Yes, ask away, ask anything. Let's see, we've talked about you should be subscribing to the channel, you're going to ask questions. Hey, what about sharing? You could also share these videos with another person. Just hit the little share, like you can send an email to somebody and say, hey, you should come over here and check out this Tai Chi. It's free, and it's going to be the whole routine, and it's going to go on for another 3 months, so let's join in. Also, the Cherry Blossom Studios actually is a real place. It exists here in where I live in Southern California, but it also is the home for our online studio and academy. So we actually teach classes here to people from all over the world. So you might be watching this living in India or the Great Britain or anywhere in South America, because we have students in all those places right now. And if you'd like some more information about those classes and what I teach and what we offer, you can come on over to the website. The link is down there below in the information about this video. And I'd love to share stuff with you. You can always take a free class with me or sign up for a free one-on-one guidance session. Those are all things that I do. You would just hang out and do more Tai Chi, which would also be a lot of fun. All right, that's all I got for tonight. Tomorrow morning, Monday morning, starting on section 2 and the recap of all the movements. I'll see you then.